Hi guys, if you're anything like me, I was born in June of 1960. You were looking forward to getting your pension at 65. That all changed and the pension age has gone up to 66. However, it's not as straightforward as it might seem. If you were born pre-April in 1960, your pension age is 66. So you're probably close to getting your pension right now, or already getting it. If you were born between April 1960 and March 1961, there's a slider. They've moved the age along by 3 months. So you can no longer qualify for your state pension until you are 66 and 3 months. So in my case, my birthday is June the 11th. I don't qualify for state pension, or bus pass in that case in England. But I don't qualify for any of those things until September the 11th of this year. And that's the same for anybody else who was born after April in 1960 and before March in 61. After March 61, so April 61 onwards, the pension age is 67, with a view to moving it to 68. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we all have a personal allowance that we're allowed to earn before we pay tax. Now, for the last few years, that's been set at £12,570. You can earn £12,570, you don't pay any tax on it. However, the pension is being increased in April, which is a good thing. Personally, I believe the pension, the state pension, should be the same as the national living wage. If there's a wage which is deemed to be suitable for living, then why isn't the state pension the same as that living wage? And if that's a living wage, why would you pay tax on it? So the personal allowance should be the same as the national living wage, which is what the pension should be, in my view. However, currently, if we look at the pension brackets here, if you like, this is nothing. You haven't earned anything at all. And here is £12,570. You can earn anything in this area and not pay tax on it. Presently, the pension is sitting about here. But in April, it's going to go to here, very, very close to the threshold. In fact, it's only £22 away from the threshold. So after April, if you have an additional taxable income of £23 or more within the whole year, you're going to pay tax on that additional income, which is crazy, in my view. However, that's the way it is. There's nothing we can do about it. It's just the way it is. But what you can do is if you envisage any money coming in, a taxable income coming in after April, do what you can to get it in first. Get it in beforehand. So if you can get it in before the 5th of April, it will go into this year's tax, not next year's tax. So that will keep your amazing 23 quid tax allowance headroom, if you like. I don't know if that helps anybody, but it's certainly something that I'm considering. I work for myself still, and if I can bring anything into this year, this tax year, then I'm going to do it. It's a crazy system, and it's a crazy situation. As I say, I believe state pension is something which we've contributed to and should equate the national living wage, which should be tax-free for pensioners. You shouldn't be paying tax on monies you're receiving from the government. Now, strictly speaking, in the next tax year, you won't be paying tax on your pension because it's going to be £12,548 instead of £12,570, a £22 difference. But we'll come back to our thresholds again. This is zero. This is £12,570. From April, your pension is going to be about here. £22 away from the threshold. But this taxable allowance is set in stone, in theory. This has been determined to stay where it is until I think 2031, when we'll be 71. But the pension has to increase with inflation or with the triple lock if that stays. So currently we're here, but in 2027, it's going to go above it. And 2028, it's going to go above again. And it's going to keep doing that until they raise this tax level. So for the next few years, after 2027, we're all going to be paying tax on a state pension. Money distributed, our money, distributed by the state, is then going to be taxable. Where's the sense in that? Makes no sense whatsoever. So get some advice. I'm just a guy. But have a look into it before it's too late. If you can move anything into this year, before April the 5th, try and do it. So for example, I have a private pension. I'm going to try and draw some of my private pension down so it goes into this year's allowance, and then I'll consume it next year. Okay, well I hope that helps. Like, share, subscribe, all that sort of stuff that people do. And I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.